Today, or rather, over the next couple of days, we're exploring British Columbia's backcountry in our Overland Subaru Forester. Our journey will take us deep into the Rocky Mountains, hundreds of kilometers away from civilization, following a network of forest service roads and rugged trails. Why exactly are we out here? Well, we're hunting for something from the past, something long abandoned and left to rot away. What is it, and what will we find? You'll just have to watch to find out.
With the sun just setting behind the mountains, a fresh tank of gas and Fernie in the rear view mirror, we're heading out into the British Columbia backcountry. In the next 24 hours, me and Jeff and a cross-trek are going to be exploring some epic terrain. We're actually also going to be joined by a couple other people here and there, so you just have to stay tuned. With that being said, as I said, we are heading into darkness. Coming from Calgary, after work, we didn't have a lot of light, and that's just kind of the case with these fall adventures. Well, we're going to get some epic views of, the amazing fall colors we see driving into Fernie today. We're also going to be dropping down below zero. So I got my minus 30 sleeping bag, I got the tent winter insulation kit, and obviously all of our winter gear. With that being said, we're just on the final stretch of highway from Fernie to where we're turning off onto, some of BC's amazing logging roads, where we'll go ahead, air down, and then scout a campsite for the night. We're going to be kind of camping closer to Fernie, kind of closer to the start of the trail, where tomorrow, then we're going to be going and finding some epic spots. We have a couple spots in mind, but we don't know how accessible they are, if they're even accessible at all. And looks like we hit the dirt, so let's go ahead and air down. Go. And all aired down, let's go ahead and hit the trail. Out here, it's just as bad as pretty much everywhere else. We've met 3 or 4 vehicles on this logging road, and we have yet to hear someone on the radio. This is a pretty chill logging road. We actually got the moon just coming up over the mountains, and it's pretty smooth overall, so this is a beautiful drive. You cannot complain for, it's only 8:15 right now, but driving around the BC backcountry, just as the night kind of settles, it's just an amazing experience. But we got a little while to go before we actually get to anywhere we want to camp. Just got a couple of spots, and he said the first one is around 60k off of here, so we've got a lot of dirt to travel through, and we will be doing a lot more tomorrow as well. It looks like we gained a little bit of altitude, but we haven't really climbed anything crazy. Now that we've kind of left the civilization behind, the roads really died out. We were meeting a little bit of traffic. Now I can hear one person on the radio at 8 kilometers. We are 40 kilometers up the trail right now, and now we're just looking for spots to camp. Jeff's got a few marked out, but it's just finding one that's good for us. And I think we found a spot just off the road here to go ahead and camp. It's gonna be hard for you to see, but there's kind of a rock pile here, and the road kind of goes, or the logging road kind of goes along there. I don't think, because we are so far in the backcountry, we're about 40K now, we're not gonna find anyone, no one's gonna find us, so I'm not too worried about traffic going by. And while we can kind of tuck into where Jeff's parking the Crosstrek here, you can kind of tuck into the trees. Not that it's windy tonight, but you never know with, I mean, we're not in Alberta anymore, so maybe we won't get the Alberta winds. But what I'll probably do is just pull in here, toss the Mack tracks down on one side, and they'll be level enough to go ahead and camp. With the tent set up, we'll go ahead and make ourselves a late dinner. The temperature is already dropping, as you can tell. I've got my puffy coat on. And there we go. We got some warm dinner, so let's go ahead and eat it. And we got a little bit of moon. You can actually see the kind of silhouettes of the mountains, but no real stars, but we can still enjoy the night and enjoy our meal. Of course, it started to rain out there, which we have a chance of that becoming snow. Looking at the weather, we're going to be getting right around 0, and at this altitude, you usually would expect snow. So if we continue to see this rain, there's a chance that by tomorrow morning, even though it's shoulder season, it's early October, we could be seeing snow on our tent. So we'll just have to see. With that said, obviously, because we are getting down to that 0 degrees -1, we are wanting to stay warm. Didn't bring the diesel heater because I find the diesel heater would be too hot almost in this situation. So what we're going to be doing is, as you've seen in my -30 camping video, we have lots of gear for camping in cold weather, so I'm not too worried about it. What we are going to do is we're going to use a winter insulation kit in here to provide a little bit of more insulation, and then our -30 sleeping bag, got some blankets, and we'll stay nice and warm tonight. So we'll have to go ahead, get that set up, and then it'll be time for bed. Just even setting this up and getting into the sleeping bag and getting changed, you can tell this makes quite a bit of difference. I think from kind of talking with people, we notice about a 5 degrees difference. I'm curious to see if it's going to be 5 degrees outside tonight, then it would be 10 degrees in here, but it definitely makes an impact. When we put this, you can definitely feel it's keeping the body heat inside the tent rather than kind of letting it disperse through the walls. So we should have a nice cozy sleep. As I said, I do have my sleeping bag, my -30 sleeping bag, so we're not going to be getting cold, but I thought we might as well use this winter insulation kit and make it just a little more comfortable. With that said, that's going to wrap up tonight. So as I mentioned, you don't want to leave now because the adventure is just getting started as we go explore some pretty epic trails tomorrow, and this is kind of just our kicking off point. So I'll see you in the morning, where there's hopefully no snow. We'll have to see. And good morning from a snow-free campsite. It actually seems to stop raining right around like 1 a.m. when we're heading to bed. So that means that it didn't snow. It's definitely chilly enough. It probably could have snowed, especially this morning right around sunrise, because I had my hand out of the tent, and well, it was definitely a little bit chilly. But that winter insulation kit, I'm pretty happy with it. It does do about 5 degrees difference. Like, as I was saying, when I had my hand out of the tent, I could definitely feel the chilliness of the air, but once we put it back and zipped up the winter insulation kit again, it definitely keeps a little more heat inside, which is perfect for these kind of shoulder seasons where maybe you don't want to run the diesel heater because it's absolutely peaceful out here. Like this morning, there's not a noise out here. You can see kind of in the mountain, there was a previous burn area, and well, we have the fall colors, which you really can't complain. It's one of the best times to explore. If you can get out and kind of brave the cooler nights, you can see some amazing views. With that said, we're obviously going to cook up some food and then pack up and then hit the trail. Partially because I can't stand just sitting for all the dust coming out of this from the expo. and I can't really complain about these views. Check this out. We did go through like a mini hailstorm for like 30 seconds there, and then it kind of turned back into just a little sprinkle, which I'm not complaining. It keeps the dust down and it keeps everything from getting really dry, which honestly out here in BC, you can never complain. Once it gets dry, forest fires, and then everything's smoky, so you can't really complain. But we're kind of up and over the pass at this point. We're kind of making our way down here. Looking at the maps, there are so many epic spaces to explore here. We have quite a bit of area to travel. I'm looking at the maps here, and well, we have some amazing places to explore. There is so much to explore, as I said. Lots of actually wreck sites even back here that we're hopefully going to stop by, mark some for a future trip. And there's a logging road right behind us, and well, we just drove down through the trees here and found this amazing spot right along the river to, if you wanted to, camp, but obviously it's like lunchtime, so we'll probably have some lunch and just hang out here for a bit and continue on our way. But I'm definitely marking this place down for a camping trip in the future because, well, we've got this nice calm little river beside us, and you know how I like the camp by rivers, so this is definitely a spot I would love to return. That said, we're getting a little bit of a breeze, and well, I'm pretty sure that breeze is blowing in that cloud. As I said, and as you saw, we went through hail and we went through rain, but I think we might be going through a little bit more because, well, as I said, we want to make it to the border. The border is that way. Very close actually, which is the way the rain is coming from, and we can see it actually just, the mountains disappeared. So we're gonna try to grab a bite to eat while we're sitting here before the rain comes, and then we will go ahead, hit the trail, and then go back on that logging road and go that way. And hopefully miss the rain, or at least get through it before we get to the border. And well, that didn't last long. It's starting to rain. We literally got like 10 minutes. And I seen it coming, so I didn't want to open up the stove and stuff, so we just grabbed ourselves a quick ham and cheese and obviously a Boost meal replacement. I drink way too many of those on this trip, on these kind of trips, but it's still a little bit of subsistence as we continue. We're gonna try to go to the cabin now before we go ahead and hit the border. Checking the weather, because we have Starlink, we can check the weather out here. It's supposed to snow, like here it's supposed to get like 2 centimeters tonight. That said, we're not staying in this specific area tonight, so we're hoping we don't hit snow, but our fall trip might just become a winter trip.
Back on the Forest Service roads, we continued to make our way south towards our final destination, but not before turning off and finding another cool spot to stop.
It's raining. Of course it's raining, but check it out. We made it to the cabin. This cabin was actually built in the early 1900s. Not here. It was actually built up the road a little bit, and they moved it because the road got washed out. But it's pretty cool to see this stuff. You see this stuff a lot in the backcountries, especially in BC, because there's a lot of trap lines. There's a lot of old settlement camps that have been kind of moved over the years, and well, this is definitely one of them. This was one of the pioneers that surveyed a lot of this area and well built this cabin. So this cabin's definitely been standing for well over 100 years, over 125 years. So it's pretty cool to find a place like this. The only not cool thing is pretty sure those people leaving left their fire going. So I'm just gonna kick it out and let the rain soak it a little bit. But yeah, don't leave your fires running when you leave a spot, even if it's wet like this.
The well-maintained Forest Service road quickly disappeared in our rear view, and in front of us, puddle after puddle appeared, and the trail got tighter and tighter.
I wonder when they logged out here because it's pretty like well grown in. You have to go one-way trail now. Pushing farther into the backcountry, we can definitely see that there's more logging going on in here now, but it also means that the roads have got a lot rougher, and they have definitely, with the water, filled up quite a bit. Ooh, yeah, like right here, bouncing all around. It is definitely, as I said, more backcountry. We've seen actually one group of people, but that is really it. Again, not using radios. I complimented, they had a pretty cool setup there, but no one answered, so I'm assuming they weren't on the radio at all.
Descending down the hill and out of the forest, we eventually drove beside the river, giving us some epic views of the valley around. And that wasn't the only thing we found. Beside our trail that snaked along the river, we also came across what appears to be an outfitter's cabin. And after a quick look, we made our final push to the south.
And well, check this out. Right behind us is essentially the original Canadian border crossing. So coming in and out of Canada, that's where you would have got stamped into Canada or stamped out of Canada. And there's a building back there, and you can definitely tell it's been here for a long time. There's like obviously some border security measures up there. They've got their radios and stuff. But if we look, we are on the American side on this side. So the road essentially goes right there, and then you can see the fence. That is literally the border between Canada and United States. And what you'll notice up here is there's going to be these little white pillars, and those are the border between Canada and the United States. So we are literally on the Canadian-US border right now, and well, obviously because this is a closed border crossing, even if you wanted to, you couldn't cross. There's no customs anymore on either side, but it's still really cool to see. And honestly, as I said, this is a place I've been wanting to explore for a really long time, and when Jeff mentioned it, I was like, yes, we definitely got to hit this up. But we'll take a little walk in here. So if you're coming into Canada, as we said, probably around the 80s, you would have pulled in through here, and they probably would have taken your passport and stamped you in right here. And this is probably where they would have stayed, because remote location, they probably would have lived right there. But we just seen someone pull up on the American side, and we're gonna go talk to them.
That's so cool. It's such a sick spot.
Climbing out of the valley and saying goodbye to the river, we are heading back towards civilization. So we've completed our mission of hitting the border crossing. As I say, that was absolutely epic. If you ever had the chance to explore that, definitely do it. It is really cool to be able to check out kind of more abandoned places. I don't know about you, but I am a fan of exploring places that I've been long since abandoned. It's cool to see the history, and especially something where it is an international border. It's really cool to be able to check that out. With that being said, obviously, since we know our way back and we are not exploring every little wreck site and every little trail, we will be able to make our way back. Like, honestly, we're probably looking at about 100 kilometers back to civilization. So obviously we're not doing 100 kilometers an hour, but we should be able to hit the main road here in probably just over an hour, if not a little bit less. So we got a nice little cruise through this beautiful area before we make our way back to the main road. This bead road is way smoother. We can fly on it.
Here, we could pick up speed again, making it quickly through the pass before descending one last time into the valley below.
And we're off of the main service road, and well, just that way is the highway. We were here just under 24 hours ago, airing down, and well, it's time to go ahead and hit that road and make our way back to civilization. But down there, you can see the mountains just with a little bit of sunset and a little bit of sun on them. That's where we were. That's where we spent the last 24 hours exploring some pretty epic places, and well, we definitely have to return there, because I bet there is some amazing places that we completely missed, or like there's a couple even logging roads that like go right around there, and supposedly a little bit difficult, more of a trail, but you know we'll have to hit them in the future. So I hope you enjoyed this trip as much as I did, and well, don't forget to subscribe, because we actually have more adventures coming your way, more fall adventures. Obviously out here there's so much to explore. We're actually going on another adventure here. We're going to be checking out some high alpine. We're going to be doing a bunch more, so make sure you're subscribed, and don't forget to check out the channel memberships for exclusive perks, behind the scenes content. I'm sure there's going to be some from here, as well as Flat for Off-Road, to get your Subaru ready for trails and adventures like this. And I'll be seeing you guys in the next adventure.